Interesting that you should bring this up when your normal co-host isn't here.
Once upon a time, there were three brothers, known as the Trinity Bros, who told stories of opinions of MMOs.
Time for some Trinity Bros opinions with this Trinity story quest. Now, in the notes, Lurker had MSQ, and I didn't know what he talked about. Is that monosodium glutamate? No, but that's different, okay? So now you know it's main story quest. So maybe I should just change this from story quest time to the main story quest. So anyways.
There's main story quests in World of Warcraft now, you know?
That's what I was trying to do. I'm titling this based on the story quest. But I didn't realize there was the main. So that's why I'm going to change this. Anyway, so guess what? We evolve and we change and we adapt, right? So anyways, last week we talked about what was the best way to travel around, wherever it was, walking, riding, flying, swimming, whatever it is, okay? And we realized, I think basically is that it's great to learn the game by walking, slowly get to the point where you're an expert, you've been doing the game for a long time, just traveling now, no big deal. But anyways, it was mentioned about it would be great if it could have mount customization. So we touched on it last week, and I felt it was right to continue the discussion and bring on some new perspectives because Looker's here too. Okay, so mount customization. Now, me personally, I have not been a collector of mounts. I have mounts. I don't mind having a mount. Once I get a mount that flies, I'm good with that. Now, knowing that we put a lot of effort, people a lot of effort into their character look, their character outfits, okay, and just everything they do, and the mount just sits there, and it's also part of what you see as you're riding along. So, Lurker, what are your thoughts about mount customization? Should there be? Has there been any games that have had mount customization?
Interesting that you should bring this up when your normal co-host isn't here. Black Desert Online is very big on there's gear that you get for your mounts, and there's different mounts. There's like breeding and all sorts of other stuff that you can do with. So you can customize your mounts quite a bit. I think that it's just like a nice bonus to have in a video in an MMO, like just having an extra layer of stuff on top of it. But I feel like it's a lot of work to put in that someone has to in order to make sure that all these mounts are of similar build so that they can have similar gear or that sort of stuff. I guess for the question of what I think about mount customization, are we talking about gear for it, or are we talking about the different types of mounts, that sort of thing?
That's a good question. I know that was brought up last week. And you're right. I think that Solomon did mention BDO. That's a good question. Maybe let's expand upon that. What do you think? What should be then? If we have or should have, well, obviously, if we want it, what should it be?
I think mount customization is a nice addition for any MMO, but it's just all about the resources it takes to implement that into the game, right? Where it's we would love to have some in World of Warcraft, if you could just take out your whatever mount, your plain strider or whatever, and then add take off pieces of armor and add different pieces of armor, people would love that. But can you imagine the workload that would put on the devs to put in? I think as far as an MMO goes, I don't need it, but it's a nice happy addition when it's there.
That's a good point about the dev side of thing. I hadn't thought about that. That's additional more assets. There's some more probably lag for your computer, or I'm sure there are people who would love to do that and just duck it all out the way they want to. So, Jazil, about you? You want mount customization, or if it is, what just overall thoughts about it?
I see it going down two different roads here when I think of customization. On one hand, I think of the visual aspect, and on the other hand, I think of the utility aspect of it. The utility aspect of it I think of as being, I suppose the best way I can think of it is how it's done in Elder Scrolls Online, where you've got the ability to do stamina and speed as well as
carrying
equipment slots, that you can actually have more bag slots to put your things into if you're going around collecting materials or what have you. And then there is the other aspect of it of how the mount looks and being able to customize the visualization of it. I think the way that World of Warcraft has done it, and most games do with that, is that you just collect different colored mounts. They're just recolors of the same mount. You'll have 5 or 6 different colors of the same mount, and then you go and you can collect different mounts, and they all have recolors as well. Now, that's fine. That's serviceable, as I've said in the past. But I kind of would like, as Lurger was saying, I kind of would like, even though I recognize it would take more work, that I could maybe, as you improve the stats on the mount that are, again, on the utility side, as your utility goes up, that the mount, more optimizations, or not optimizations, but more options are available to you for different armor pieces or any kind of bling that you want to put on it, for lack of a better way to say it, to customize it further from there. I think that most of the MMOs that are out now, that they've kind of put themselves in a corner that making that kind of change would be a lot of work.
Yeah.
Because they would have to roll everything back, and there's people that have already spent lots of time. I'm pointing at myself here. Even years trying to get certain mounts that are very unique in the game. Ashes of Alara, I'm talking about you. Thanks for not dropping for the past, how many ever years it's been, 14 years. So I don't see that they could do it now for games that are being worked on right now, say New World and games like that. It would be really kind of cool to see them do something different there. And I'd love to do that, because I do get into transmog and wearing, putting some different armor set on my character visually, every so often, just to change things up. And it'd be really neat if I could match the mount up to that as well. Kind of like I do with my jeans and t-shirt. And, it depends on what jeans and t-shirt that I put on, or what pair of tennis shoes I'm going to put on, because I want to match, even though I'm wearing the same stuff I was back in 1985,
So I guess it's interesting. Would you rather have mount customization that makes it so that all the mounts are somewhat similar, but you can dress them up in different armors, or would you rather have the mounts being really varied? So in World of Warcraft, we're talking about Ashes of Alar versus your Nightsaber versus your Mammoth versus you have all these different types of mounts. But then in Black Desert Online, you have everyone's a horse, and then they're variations of the horse, and you just dress them up in different, you dress your horse up in different ways. Which one would you rather have?
First one, I think. Yeah, I like the varied. Yeah, I like that there's, tiger mounts, there's horse mounts, there's different flying mounts, there's drakes, and I think just having one style would make it way easier on the devs, as you were saying, and on the guys and gals that work on the customization, because there would have to be a team put onto just that specific task, because we're really the people that are into transmogrification are really greedy people that need new stuff to adventure for and to gather on a consistent basis. So you would have to have a team devoted to that, and having one, like you said, just having horses would make it way easier for them. But for people like me, it'd get kind of stale after a year or two. I think just having that one style, I would be craving that variance that we have with, like you said, World of Warcraft.
I would go with the horses. You can style them up. I was looking
No?
at some old pictures of my Darker J Camelot, some photos. I'm trying to find some WoW stuff, and I found some of my Calibus. Calibus von Kawanakoa, the Crimson Knight. I love the fact that I could actually put it a red color. Now, mind you, I wasn't a big person. I don't recall ever transmogging anything in WoW. I'm not sure when it first came into the WoW, but I have not transmogged anything that I recall. I might have done the quest that kind of showed you how to do it, but so to me, that's why I'm not the guy. I'm the guy who's like, yeah, I'll dress my horse up or my mount up, but not really a big deal. What about you, Lurker? What would you choose?
That's tough. I might choose the standard mounts, but then again, I'm not like a huge mount. I'm more about character armor, and mounts are kind of just point A to point B for me. There are some really cool ones, like in Final Fantasy 14, they have like a ridiculous array of mounts where it's like you have a horse, but then you have like the motorcycle that Cloud rides in like Advent Children, and then you have like a giant claw that just picks your character up from the scruff of their neck and then drags them around. And so that's really cool. I think I could go either way, like either side of the fence.
Yeah, that's good. That's why I thought it was a good topic to talk about, because mount customization is something that I hadn't thought about, and it was a really cool idea. All right, we have now got finished the story quest. Check out the further adventures of Kennethan by liking and subscribing and watching me live on twitch.tv/Kennethan.